here we go again. I, my wife, we're pregnant again. She came and told me that she was expecting. And I was like, wow, here we go again. Is it going to be a boy or a girl? I'm going to name this one, if it's boy, Billy. So my wife, she wasn't really feeling it. I'm not ready for this. I am just really not ready right now. So at nighttime, we're in the bed, getting ready to sleep. She was like, what, no story? No, not this time. Come on, no story? No. So finally, it was the time, and her water broke. So my wife, she gave me a call at work. It's that time. So I flew out the office, run, got in the car. As fast as I could, I got to the hospital. So again, we had this nice, beautiful room with the TV and everything. And again, my wife was having labor pains. They had to give her another epidural in her back. And I'm looking at the monitor again. Shit, again, the oxygen level of the baby, it went down again. So as the doctors were coming in the room, the doctor asked for me, and I went to go see what he wanted to talk about. He was explaining the reason why the oxygen level has decreased. And he told me that the fetus, the baby, had human waste inside the bag. So that's why that causes the oxygen level to decrease. So at this point, they were rolling my wife into the emergency room for surgery. And they asked me to come along. I was following them. And the doctor was like, "You coming in too?" I'm like, "What? I'm coming in?" So they gave me scrubs and a mask before I went into the emergency room. They had my wife on a table. She had to have a C-section, so they had to open up her stomach. She couldn't really see anything, and I'm just standing there, just waiting to see what's going on. So as my wife was laying there, she was all excited and just hollering like, "What is going on?" And I'm looking and I'm screaming like, "Oh my God, look at this. Her stomach is wide open, blood everywhere." I'm looking at all the stuff. So she looked up, she was like, "You're not the doctor." And then I was like, "Billy." So the doctor came along, and my wife was like, "Oh my God." She was so excited. She's like, "Oh, is it coming? Is it coming?" And I'm looking like he came over with some forceps. He grabbed the baby from the top of his head and pulling the baby out. I'm like, "Oh, wow, this is just so amazing." And she's like, "Oh, I see it coming." And the doctor pulled the baby out. I saw his penis, and I was like, "Yes! That's it! My boy!" So finally, once I knew that was my son, I was like, "Oh, it's a boy, it's a boy." So my wife was like, "Well, what are we gonna name him?" "Billy Ortega, Bill Ortega." She's like, "No, that's a boring name. That's a boring name." Then, as she sat and thought about it, she was okay with it. Bill Ortega Jr. So after my son was born, they took me to give him a ABR test, which checked for his hearing to see if his brain was okay, make sure that he wasn't deaf. So they had several tests on my son. So they found out my son was deaf. Yes! Perfect! He's deaf like me. And my family, they were all excited. Yay!